we're going to look at Fetch.ai. Now, there's a lot of hype surrounding AI projects, specifically in the crypto space, and Fetch.ai is probably one of the top contenders with the most eyeballs. Now, in this chart, I've gone ahead and opened up Fetch.ai, and I've identified a couple of key things. We can see an uptrend, a symmetrical triangle breakout, and I've gone ahead and measured our key resistance areas to identify areas of resistance and support for accumulation based on the Fibonacci extensions. Let's go ahead and jump into the chart.
Hi, I'm Martin. I'm the founder of Captain Crypto's Compass. I'm a trader and a professor at the Financial Freedom Academy. I am passionate about helping you to achieve financial freedom through the art and the gift of trading. I will be providing you with actionable technical analysis and insights on your favorite cryptocurrency projects to help you make better and more informed decisions. If you're ready to take your trading to the next level, you're in the right place.
Now, the first thing that I want to draw our attention to here is this beautiful uptrend that Fetch.ai has been forming. Now, ever since its launch here in March 2019, we saw it got started with a rocky start here, and we saw a dump in Fetch.ai, but we can see that we have consistently created higher highs and higher lows ever since. And we've in April of this year, we formed our absolute top here at roughly about $3.40, and we can see that we have started retracing back into key market structure. Now, one of the things that I've identified here is this long trend line here, taking these bottom pivots in Fetch.ai. We can see we have 1, 2, 3 touch points on this bottom trend line. So I've gone ahead and marked this for us, and I've also gone ahead and just looked at key market structure for Fetch.ai. Where can we expect support to enter here? Now, a couple of things that I'm looking for. I am looking for pivot lows and I'm looking for pivot highs in order to identify these key areas of accumulation and resistance. As we know, when we break a resistance level, that level usually flips to support, and when we break a support level, that level usually flips to resistance. So having a look at the chart here, we can see that just based on these previous pivot highs and pivot lows, I've highlighted this area here between roughly 60 cents all the way back down to this 44 cents. And we can see that Fetch.ai came down now, got rejected at this pivot high over here at roughly $2.14, give or take. And we came all the way back down, breaking the moving averages, breaking the anchored VWAP, and we came right into this support pocket over here on top of our previous pivot highs. And we can see that Fetch.ai found support in this area, rebounded, and is currently trying to reclaim 21 SMA. Now, the 21 SMA is the yellow line over here, and we can see that we are currently trading below the 21 SMA. We can see we've tried to hold it as support for a couple of weeks, breaking it, coming back down into this accumulation zone, pushing back up, got resisted at the anchored VWAP from the bottom pivot here at roughly about 0.06 cents. Measuring this anchored VWAP, we can see that price is struggling to get over these moving averages, and it looks like we are trying to make a move back into our support zones yet again. So this, looking at this trend line here, looking at our market structure pivot highs and pivot lows, we can see that we are currently forming a base on top of this area here, on top of the previous pivot high at roughly about 60 cents. Now, looking at this move, I can also see and identify from the Fibonacci extensions, measuring it from the pivot high here in December 2024, the pivot low we had in April 25, and these recent pivot high in May of this year, we can see that it's highlighted this golden zone support level as well between the 0.5 and 618 that we also just need to keep in mind. And this is on the lower end of this market structure and even the lower end of these pivots and wicks we saw during our last dump in April 2025. So I'm keeping this in mind as a potential double bottom scenario if we do break this trend line that we are currently forming over many months. But weakness that I'm seeing here is obviously we are trading below both the 50, which is the green line, and the 21 SMA, as well as the anchored VWAP. Now, I've gone ahead and highlighted our next market pivot highs here. Just looking left to the chart, we can see we had a couple of pivot highs in this area. So I've gone ahead and just marked this zone for us as a potential resistance area just based on previous market structure.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the content so far. Please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications.
And we can see that this market structure and resistance is also closely in line to the top trend line, this downtrend, taking it from these two pivot highs here, the first one in March and in 2024 and the second one in December 2024. So we can see that there is going to be a lot of resistance here as Fetch.ai is still finding its feet and squeezing inside of this symmetrical triangle shape. Now what I would like to see for some strength in Fetch.ai is for us to just reclaim at least the 21 moving average and start holding candles above the 21 SMA. If we can start moving into this area here and we can see candle body closes on the weekly inside of this zone between roughly 71 cents up to the 50 SMA at roughly 92 cents. This will pave the way for us to potentially retest this downtrend on the top side of price, which is currently sitting at roughly about $1.21, and then we can potentially have a change of character moment in the chart with a breakout above this downtrend, and then we can actually look at targeting these higher areas. But until we see that, we do need to treat this downtrend with respect, and we need to trade with the trend until we have that confirmed breakout. So looking at the chart now, the key areas that I'm looking at will be these pivot high support zones at roughly about the 60 cents all the way back down to this 43 cents. And if we do have a candle body close below this trend line at roughly about 52 to 55 cents, I would expect Fetch.ai to actually wick into this golden zone at the lower end of our trend line here at roughly between 40 cents and 32 cents. Now this will form a double bottom pattern in this key support zone, and then we can actually be in a position to re-challenge this downtrend that we're currently forming. If we can do this, the upside potential at the current prices, we can see that to our resistance zone is roughly about 33% to about 80% increase to the bottom of this downtrend here, the top of the trend line over there. And the pivot highs that we formed in December 2024 is sitting at roughly about 140 to about 230%, and the absolute pivot top is currently sitting at roughly 418%. Now what's interesting about this move, looking at the Fibonacci golden zone, taking a larger measured move from our pivot lows to highs to lows, taking the entire price movement into consideration, we can also then see that this highlighted this golden pocket resistance zone, and this is exactly where Fetch.ai found resistance during our March 2024 rally. So it'd be interesting to see if we can break this downtrend, have this change of character moment, if we can actually retest these previous highs, giving us a tremendous upside potential of over 400%. Now what I would like to see, simply put, is if we can hold inside of this area here between the 21 and 50, challenge this support resistance zone here, and keep on holding candles on the weekly inside of the zone, break the downtrend and hold support on top of this downtrend. That will facilitate a move to our higher targets. But if we do break this trend line at the bottom here, I would most likely see Fetch.ai break into this area, find the resistance at the bottom and the top end of this trend line here, and maybe even come and wick into this golden zone here before trying to finally make a move and break out above the trend line. Now this would actually delay the progress that we blow off top that we can potentially see, and actually re-challenging this top pivot over here at roughly $3.40. So these are the two scenarios that I'm looking out for. At the moment, just looking at our momentum, we can see that we have found some new bullish momentum in the market, looking at the stochastics RSI with the blue line crossing above the orange line, indicating that the bulls are taking control. So I would like to see a follow through of this momentum, reclaiming these moving averages that we mentioned earlier inside of the 21 and 50, and even this anchored VWAP. We need to move into these bands, need to start pushing above the moving averages and start holding support inside of the zone, even be able to potentially challenge our next resistance zone and this strong downtrend that Fetch.ai is currently forming. So interesting to see if this momentum, the weekly stochastics cross, if that would push us into this zone to start accumulating inside of the support zone between the two moving averages. So I would like to see that happen for us to push higher. If not, and we do break this downtrend line, we will start placing a lot of pressure on the Fibonacci support zones at the lower end of the spectrum. So keep this in mind. These are the two scenarios that I'm currently seeing for Fetch.ai, and I'm excited to see how this plays out. Peace and love, and happy trading.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the sub button, and hit the bell notifications. Also, remember to click the link in the description below to join my mailing list, where I'll be sending you free emails and trading videos, and also market report updates weekly to help you stay ahead of the herd. As always, this community would not be the same without you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Peace and love. See you next time.